Om. Sadashiv Samarambham
Sadashiv Samarambham
Shankaracharya Madhyamam
Shankaracharya Madhyamam
Smadacharya Paryantam
Asmadacharya Paryantam
Vande Guru Paramparam
Vande Guru Paramparam
Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Kansa Chanuramardanam
Kansa Chanuramardanam
Devaki Paramanandam
Devaki Paramanandam
Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.
So we'll say the 12th shloka of 12th chapter, which is the essence of the entire teaching. Entire means not only Bhagavad Gita, the entire teaching anywhere we can find in the world, that is in 12th shloka of 12th chapter. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat
Shreyo hi jnana abhyasa
jnanadhyanam vishishyate
Jnanadhyanam Vishishyate
dhyanat karma phalatyagah
Dhyanat Karma Phalatyagah
tyaga shanti anantaram.
Tyagah Shanti Anantaram.
So that Bhagavan is giving the technique, we can say in simple terms, for the spiritual path. Like we start with abhyas and end with shanti anantaram, uninterrupted peace. Once it is there forever. But it starts with abhyas. So that's the path, like abhyas to dhyan, and just so ultimate goal is shanti. And shanti, anand, atma gyan, they are synonym. I mean, they're used in various ways. So a lot of time people like get what is shanti, what is, and they're all same. Satya, anand, shanti, atma gyan, brahma gyan, they are all synonym. They're used in different ways. So when Bhagavan is saying tyaga shanti anantaram means wo anand bhi hai, usme satya bhi hai, everything is there. So shanti ko ya anand ko ya atma gyan ko brahma gyan, it is the same thing. But it starts with abhyas, that is true. And that's what we are doing here. So adhyaya is nothing but abhyas. So we are here for that. Now we'll say the seventh shloka of second chapter, which is Arjun's prarthana, which is our prarthana too. Karpanya dosho, seventh shloka of second chapter. Karpanya dosho upahat svabhavah
Karpanya Dosho Svabhav
prachami tvam dharma sammudha chetah
Prachami Tvam Dharma Sammudha
yat shreyasyat nishchitam bruhi tanme
Yathreyasya Nishchitam Bruhitanme
shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam.
Shishyashte Hamshadimam Tvam Prapannam.
So Arjuna is saying, Arjuna has surrendered. He said, Bhagavan, I am confused. Upahat svabhava. My nature in this sense, in this context, Arjuna is a Kshatriya, his job, Swadharma. Everybody is a Kshatriya in that sense. Whenever we have a Swadharma, you are a Kshatriya. And so you have to do that. So Arjuna is saying, I'm forgetting my Swabhav. Like I know but I'm shivering. My Gandiv is slipping, right? What is this happening? Upahat Swabhava. I'm losing my identity. That's basically Swabhav means identity. So I'm losing my identity. So I come to you and tell me what is Shreyas. In this role, what is best I can do. So Shishyasteham. And so this one prarthana, the entire Bhagavad Gita is answer to this one prarthana. All the teaching is just because of one prarthana. And that's why I personally say I do this prarthana many times during the day. And to children also, when I have classes, I'll tell them. Because this prarthana is coming from like deep desire or deep thirst from Arjun's heart. And that's the reason Bhagavan could give that. And as it is said that one more time Arjuna asked for something after the war. And Bhagavan said, now it is done. I mean, ho gaya, ho gaya. Because that time you were looking for that. So Adhyatmic sadhana means we have to have that desire, that appetite to know. Otherwise, it's just reading. I mean, we can keep reading. Nobody stops. I mean, it's always good to read, good to hear things. But am I ready for the change? If yes, then this teaching. So that's the reason this is a very powerful prayer and very powerful answer Bhagavan is given to that. Right? And that is the entire Bhagavad Gita. So now we are on 13th chapter. Last time we finished shlok number 11. We'll just recap. Very wonderful shlok it is. and then we'll move forward with the rest of things. So Bhagwan, we saw that Bhagwan told in the Shlok number 11, some books it is 12 or 11, so but we'll read that Shlok. So
2.11.
Yeah, the 13th chapter, Shlok 11 or 12, depending on some books it is 12, some it is 11. But I'll read the Shlok, you'll know that, right? Adhyat, so Pankaj bhai will the same road. Adhyatma Gyan Nityatvam
अध्यात्म ज्ञान नित्यत्वम
Tattva Gyanartha Darshanam
तत्व ज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम
Etad Gyanam Iti Proktam
एतद् ज्ञानम् प्रोक्तम्
Agyanam Yadato Anyatha.
अज्ञानम यदुतोऽन्यथा तथा अध्यात्म ज्ञान में नित्य स्थिति और तत्व ज्ञान के अर्थ रूप परमात्मा को सर्वत्र देखना, यह सब तो ज्ञान है, और जो इससे विपरीत है वह अज्ञान है, ऐसे कहा है। और ज्ञान की टिप्पणी में लिखा है, जिस ज्ञान के द्वारा आत्म वस्तु और अनात्म वस्तु जानी जाए, उस ज्ञान का नाम अध्यात्म ज्ञान है। और यस, बाद में फिर ज्ञान की उन्होंने टिप्पणी में लिखा है इस नहीं बस
ज्ञान के साधनों के
हाँ, इस अध्याय के श्लोक 7 से लेकर यहाँ तक जो साधन कहे हैं, वे सब तत्व ज्ञान की प्राप्ति में हेतु होने से ज्ञान नाम से कहे गए हैं।
Constancy in self-knowledge, perception of end of true knowledge. This is declared to be knowledge. What is opposed to this is ignorance.
Yeah, so we saw that 7 Shlok to 11, there are 20 attributes. Amanitvam, we talked about Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Arjavam. All that, those attributes are nothing but Gyan, Bhagavan is saying. And one you have, others will come, or you practice all. That's not the thing here. But Bhagavan is saying the attribute is Gyan. It is like that. Sometimes we title things. So Swamiji Chinmayananji used to give the example. Bharat mein railway station mein जैसे Bombay आ गई है, like Madras आ गई है. So they are very good example is Madras means Madras Express has come. The train which is going to Madras has come. It's like that. But station pe they'll say like this, right? Jhelum आ गई है. The train which is coming from Jhelum has come. So we have to see that all this, when Bhagavan says Amanitvam, he is saying Amanitvam is Gyan. It's like that. We have to supply that. And we saw, there are all 20, we can keep reading those wonderful characteristics. But one of them, like for example, Vairagyam. So Bhagavan says Vairagya is Gyan. If we have Vairagya, that means there is a Gyan sprouting. And so Vairagya, nothing is not running away from things. Vairagya is Gyan. So all these attributes are Bhagavan is saying Gyan. But what is the goal of that Gyan? That Tattva Gyanartha Darshanam. Why we are having this Brahma Gyan? What is the Artha means? What is the end goal of that? And we saw that Bhagavad Gita logo, which I always share, that you are complete. See, Brahma Vidya or Brahma Gyan, and then Yoga Shastra is way to completeness. So Bhagavan says the ultimate goal is I am complete and the whole world is complete because everything is Brahman. And the end of that is Tattvamasi. That's it. So that goal we should have in the mind. The purpose of all this to realize that Tattvamasi. Other than these qualities, everything is garbage. In computers, like old time now, I don't know, people don't do programming in traditional way, but the people who have worked on computers old time, we use, first thing we use, I mean, I remember I did 30, 40 years ago, some programming course in our factory. They used to ask to do engineers to do programming also. So first lesson, the person, our teacher said that the term very popular, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. And he used to say that if you write a program and if you feed wrong data, so garbage in, garbage out, program will give the wrong output. Because program is a computer, right? Whatever you program. So your program should be right, your data should be right. Otherwise, that's what happens to all of, right? You get, you call some bank, my statement is wrong. Or somebody has done something wrong. Computer is just dumb. So garbage in, garbage out. If you put garbage in, you'll get garbage out. exactly this. If you put garbage in this mind, garbage will be out. My actions will be garbage if my gyan is garbage. If I have, other than these qualities, whatever is in the mind is just garbage. So that's what Bhagavan is saying. Anyatha agyanam. Now, see, the goal of gyan is not to, I'll be a good person. We'll go to 14th chapter. It's coming next, right? The goal is not that gyan aa gaya, so I am a gyani. The moment I said I am a gyani is same as a gyan. Vedanta is very clear. It is exactly same as agyan. The moment I say I am a sattuguni, I am equally tamoguni. Will come. 14th chapter is very clear in that. Very wonderful chapter. It's coming next. So that's what Bhagavan is saying. Everything, the moment I realize that, oh, I think I have gyan, I am same agyani. So Bhagavan is saying, be very careful. These qualities are not to be like with the drum beating around. Oh, I got this thing. So it is my nature. That's what Arjuna asks. Upahat sabhava. All these have to become my swabhav. Ahimsa should be my swabhav. Vairagya should be my swabhav. These are not practices. Shocham, Atma Vinigraha should be my swabhav. All those Achara Upasana. And that's what Bhagavan is saying. So with that, and then Bhagavan says, the goal we should know. What is the purpose of this goal? To have that. And it explains also, right? Jnanam means Vivek Gyan. We have to supply that word Vivek before Gyan. Gyan for what? To make a Vivek, to discernment, to discriminate. Atma Anatma. What is permanent, what is impermanent, what is right, what is wrong. So Gyan is always, Atma Gyan means Vivek Gyan. So because Atma is pure, like Vivek. So when I have Atma, then I have Vivek. And that's what Bhagavan is saying. So remember, Bhagavan says, remember the goal of that earth, to have Vivek. That's it. इतना सही है. विवेक आ गया तो फिर जिंदगी आसान हो जाती है. सारा खेल तो अभी last week we had a children class. So one of the kid had his birthday. So I asked him that, Veer, how old are you? If I ask you the question, what is your answer? And he said, I am 12-year-old. And I said, okay, last year if I asked these questions, what would be your answer? He said, my answer will be, I am 11-year-old. And I said, next year if I ask this same question, what will be your answer? And he said, I'll be 13-year-old. I said, now tell me in 3 statements, what is changing, what is not changing? They have been attending Gita class, so now they get it, right? He immediately said that the 13-year-old, 12-year-old is changing. The body is changing. What is not changing? I am. Atma is not changing. Oh, I was very happy to see the 30. He's 12 now. Good answer, right? Now he got it. That is Vivek. What is Atma? What is Anatma? And the whole 13th chapter, 14th chapter is about, we are going to, 13th also, Kshetra. Kshetra is body, and Kshetra is that consciousness or awareness or Atma. So I am not. That is Atma Gyan, that I am not. But our problem is like we identify everything with body. Everything with body. As long as we have that body identification, it is all अज्ञान. कितना भी आप गीता के श्लोक याद कर लो, सब याद हो जाए आपको, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. आप पीएचडी कर लीजिए. हमारे वेदांत तो you do PhD in Vedanta, doesn't matter. Kabir Das ji had no PhD, Nanak Mira had no PhD, Nanak had no PhD. हमारे प्रभुपाद गुरु जी थे, no PhD, but they were closer to Brahma Gyan. So it is not about knowing, it is about that realization of Atma and Anatma. So that's what the whole teaching is. That's what Bhagavan is saying here. Keep that goal in mind. So with that, we'll move to the 12th shlok. Now the topic will change. So far, Bhagavan was talking about what is Gyan and Agyan. Now he is saying what is Geyam. Geyam is to be known. Again, Bhagavan is a very good teacher. He is repeating same thing, but the beauty of Bhagavad Gita is that it's most of the things are repeated. Most of the teaching, right? It's because 2nd chapter and 3rd chapter Bhagavad Gita is done. After that, everything is repeat. But every time you think you are reading a new chapter, there is nothing new. He is just saying the same thing, but that's the beauty of the teacher, right? He can continue up to 18th chapter, same thing, and then we keep enjoying. His goal is, teacher's goal is to make sure that we understand 10 ways, 15 ways he'll explain. Arjun is keep asking. So this Arjun asked this question and he's answering that. So now the 12th shlok of 13th chapter. Geyam yat pravakshami.
Yeyam yatat pravakshyami.
Yagyatva amrit ashnute.
Yadgyatvam
Anadimat param brahma.
Anadimat param brahma.
Na sattanna saduchyate.
Na sattanna saduchyate. और हे अर्जुन, जो जानने के योग्य है तथा जिसको जानकर मनुष्य परमानंद को प्राप्त होता है, उसको अच्छी प्रकार कहूंगा। वह आदि रहित परम ब्रह्म अकथनीय होने से न सत कहा जाता है और न असत ही कहा जाता है।
I will declare that which has to be known, which having known one enjoys immortality. Beginningless is the supreme Brahman. That is called neither Sat, existent, nor Asat, which is non-existent.
So we on the second chapter there was a shlok in which Bhagavan says that there is no way Asat can exist and there is no way Sat cannot exist. Now Sat Asat, I mean there are very technical term in Sanskrit, and the Sat has come from that. But Sat means being. So in this shlok, Bhagavan is clarifying what he said in 16th shlok of second chapter. What he said there, he's giving. So that's the beauty of Bhagavan as a teacher, right? He remembers. So he is clarifying that, expanding on that. So Bhagavan is saying, "Jo janne yoga mein, the worth knowing that I'll tell you. What happens after knowing that? The ultimate goal, like previous shlok, Paramanand. That's the goal. That's what he's saying. By knowing this, you get the Paramanand. So there is a shlok in Upanishad. It comes, and the student is asking teacher. He says, "Kasmin vigyate sarvam idam vigyatam bhavati." By knowing what? Kasmin vigyate. By knowing what? Sarvam idam. All whatever is available here. Vigyatam bhavati. I can know that. So what is that one which, and the whole story is that the teacher asks after the student got through the education that, did your teacher tell this? You knew all you Sanskrit and grammar and you know all the rules and everything. 11 Upanishads or 4 Ved, that's fine. But did you know what is, by knowing that, then he asks you tell me now. It's like that. So that's the answer is Tattvamasi, you are that, right? But the whole then teaching goes. So that is important. By knowing which I get the Paramanand. So it is like that. Kabir Das ji used to say that, right? पानी में मीन पियासी मुझे सुन सुन आवे हासी. पानी में मीन पियासी मुझे सुन सुन आवे हासी. And he say, है हाजिर तो ही दूर बतावे पंडित की बात निरासी. पानी में मीन पियासी मुझे सुन सुन. But he is saying that now after reading all this, you are searching here and there. You are wasting your time in some books or reading on finding where it is. And he says, no, he's right. Bhagavan is right there. So that's what Bhagavan is saying, that Paramanand is right inside you. You don't have to go out. And he says, by knowing that. So ultimately, if I know that I am that Paramanand, or typically if I remove that Agyan, then Bhagavan says you will get the Paramanand. And he says, आगे बताएंगे भगवान कैसे? But that's what he's saying, I'll tell you. And what is that? That particular thing is neither Sat or Asat. Sat means be existence, Asat means non-existing. So he said you cannot call, because the moment you call Asat, there is no Asat. Asat also has Sat. When the moment you say nothing exists, means you have accepted that exists. So the ultimate answer is that when you come to know, you cannot say that. You get into silence. So we can go on discussion, a lot of description, you will read the commentary about this. But simple answer is that जब पता लग जाता है तो आवाज चली जाती है, सिर्फ आनंद रह जाता है. You are, once you realize Bhagwan, the voice is gone. If something comes out, Bhagwan's name, that's it, nothing else. So all this discussion about Sat and Asat, let's not spend our time in logic of that. Oh, existence is not there, then what? I mean, we can go all on physics and chemistry, but that's Bhagwan says, akathani. Brahm is akathani. Brahm cannot be said. हमारे यहाँ तो we have used in our शास्त्र निशब्द, अनाहत नाद, बड़ा प्यारा शब्द यूज किया हमारे शास्त्र. अनाहत, अनाहत मीन्स which is, naad means sound, anahat means which is produced by not striking, otherwise any sound will come after striking. Ahat means striking. Anahat, without striking the sound comes. That is the sound from within, and that is Brahman. So akathani hai. So let's, neither it is Sat nor Sat. Don't, Bhagavan is saying, don't spend time on that Sat and finding. Just enjoy that, and that is within. And we've seen that when we do dhyan, that's what happens, right? So again, in this context, Bhagavan is saying, Kshetra Kshetragya. Because Kshetra is body, Kshetragya is the one who knows the body. And that we need to know who knows the body. That is the Gyan. And that is Gayam. And we can go on like. So Bhagavan says, what happens after knowing that? Yagyatva Amrit Ashnute. Amrit means nectar. We say that nectar is not there. The biggest fear in life is insecurity. We all have that. All kind of material insecurity we have. In fact, because of everything related to body. Atma is nothing to insecure about Atma. So what you get freedom from Amrit Ashnute. You get the freedom from with that insecurity. That you overcome, because insecurity is all about body and body related thing. My fund, my account, my house, my insurance, my family, my own body. I'm worried about that. Insecurity will go away because you are not this body. You are Kshetragya. And that's what I'm saying. That is to be known. So Kshetragya is to be known. We'll go further, right? So the 13th Shlok is a little bit continuation of that. Now Bhagavan is saying that Brahman which you know to know. And again, we have to keep in mind the ultimate goal is Tattvamasi. There is no outside Brahman. Like same Kabirdas ji ka doha. Pani mein meen pyasi, mujhe sun sun hasi. The fish is thirsty when fish is in the water, because fish is looking for water. Kahani hai puri. Where is the water? Where is water? And you are in water, and you are saying I am thirsty. It's like that. So you are Brahman by yourself, and you are still looking for. That's what the message here, that you enjoy. It's called Paramananda, means Brahmanand. So, and we saw the processes. We know that, right? We'll do the dhyan also, and the entire second chapter Bhagavan has talked about, 6th chapter also. So 13th Shlok, right? The continuation. Sarvata Panipadam Tat.
Sarvata Panipadam Tat.
Sarvato Kshiri Shiromukham.
Sarvato Akshishiro
Sarvata Shrutim Loke.
Sarvata Shrutim Alloke.
Sarvam Vratyatishthati.
सर्वमा वृत्त्यतिष्ठति. परंतु वह सब ओर से हाथ पैर वाला एवं सब ओर से नेत्र सिर और मुख वाला तथा सब ओर से श्रोत्र वाला है, क्योंकि वह संसार में सबको व्याप्त करके स्थित है. और इसकी टिप्पणी में लिखा है, आकाश जिस प्रकार वायु अग्नि जल और पृथ्वी का कारण रूप होने से उनको व्याप्त करके स्थित है, वैसे ही परमात्मा भी सबका कारण रूप होने से संपूर्ण चराचर जगत को व्याप्त करके स्थित है.
With hands and feet everywhere, with eyes, heads and mouths everywhere, with ears everywhere, that exists in the world enveloping all.
Yeah, so we can just go back to 11th chapter and just imagine Bhagwan's Vishwaroop. And that's what the whole 11th chapter and 10th or 11th. Bhagwan has already said 10th means I am in everything. 11th, everything is in me. That's what Bhagwan is just reminding him, that Vyaptam is all pervading. And already he has explained Vibhuti and Vishwaroop, everything is Bhagwan. There is nothing outside. Well, there was a some teacher was teaching about this, and then he asked the student that if you can you tell me where God is? And if you give the right answer, I'm going to give you the candy. And this little kid was a student of Bhagavad Gita. So he said, teacher, if you can tell me where God is not, then I'll give you a bag of candy. So it is that. क्या अब इसमें कोई सोचना ही नहीं है कि कहाँ नहीं है, all pervading. And that's what the example नीचे आकाश वायु का, that's what when we do dhyan, 7th chapter of Bhagavan is described how the whole Prakriti has come. And in fact, we saw in this chapter also 24 elements. Previous shlok, there was a 24 elements. So all kshetra, but all elements are coming from Bhagavan himself. So everything is Bhagavan. We think because of ignorance, we think I am a separate body. There is nothing separate. That's what he's saying. Tishtati vyapta. Many shlok are there like that. So with continuation of that, right? Sarvendriya gunabhasam.
Sarvendriya gunabhasam.
Sarvendriya vivarjitam.
Sarvendriya vivarjitam.
Asaktam sarva bracheva.
Asaktam sarva brachaiva.
Nirgunam gunabhoktra cha.
निर्गुणम गुण भोक्तृ च, और संपूर्ण इंद्रियों के विषयों को जानने वाला है, परंतु वास्तव में सब इंद्रियों से रहित है तथा आसक्ति रहित है, और गुणों से अतीत हुआ भी अपनी योग माया से सबको धारण पोषण करने वाला और गुणों को भोगने वाला है.
Standing by the functions of all the senses, without any senses, unattached yet supporting all, devoid of gunas and enjoying the gunas.
See, now again, all these, when Bhagavan, describe these quality of Bhagavan, so we need to, see, that's a Gita student should rise to a level. After reading Gita multiple times, we have to do that Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. We should not just keep thinking this is separate Bhagavan. We need to get those things in us. Otherwise, to kya padhte raho Bhagavan ki quality, that is not the goal here, right? So one thing Bhagavan has said, Nirgunam, guno se atit. And we will see in the 14th chapter, that is one of my favorite chapter, we'll see all we are made of Raj, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. We are all made of that. And Bhagavan is saying, he's talking about Brahman, which is us ultimately. So Bhagavan is saying this Brahman, this particular, whatever we call it, the principle, which is Brahman, it is Nirgun. Sattva, Raj, Tamas don't affect this principle, Brahman. So when Tattvamasi, when I become Brahman, means the first requirement is I should be Gunatit. As long as I have Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun, I just cannot say the statement Tattvamasi is not invalid because I'm still bound by the Guna. Guna means the one which binds. That's Guna. One of definition, Guna is it binds. Sattvagun also bind. We'll see in the 14th chapter. If I'm doing a lot of, as I always give example that some person, he says, oh, I gave him like to temple or where $5 million. Till the moment I remember this, that I have given $5 million, I'm still bound by that $5 million. Although the $5 million is gone from my account, but I'm still bound by that. And that is Sattvagun, which is again, so Bhagavan is saying Nirgunam, Gunatit. And that is the goal actually. That is the most difficult and most, I will say, satisfying experience, Anubhav in Adhyatma is to become Gunatit. And once you are Gunatit, things don't affect you. And then you can have Paramanand. Otherwise, to Paramanand aayega kaise if you have Guna, right? Because Guna, and we'll see 14th chapter is very interesting. We'll see all these. So Bhagavan is Sarvabrat, sabko poshan karne wala. We will, agle chapter mein bhi aane, like next shlok mein bhi aane wala hai. He is a like, all three characteristics he'll try. But now here the goal is the Guna. Bhagavan has brought the term Guna. And many, like in 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, 7th chapter, 9th chapter, 13th chapter, many times he talks about Guna. But he has not described that. 14th chapter comes later. That's why when I take another class, after 2nd chapter, we should read 14th chapter. 14th chapter should be read again and again, because many times Bhagavan has talked about gun in entire Bhagavad Gita, but you don't know what guna are. So we keep reading, but we don't know what he is talking about. Maybe Arjun was intelligent enough. Arjun knew it, but Arjun, लेकिन हमें तो कहाँ पता है. So maybe that's the reason 14th chapter. I mean, I personally feel we should read in the beginning. We have done that, but anyway, so that's what Bhagavan, when I talk about gun, we'll see in the 14th chapter what the goal is, to become guna. Guna means bound by this, all the actions and thoughts. You have to rise above that. Otherwise, Paramanand cannot be there. You will not know Brahman. That's it. It's simple as that. So we'll go to 15th shloka. Just a little bit extension of Bahirantascha bhutanam.
Bahirantascha bhutanam.
Acharam charamev cha.
Acharam charamev cha.
Sukshmatvat avigyeyam.
Shushmatvat vigyeyam.
Durastham chantike chatat.
दूरस्थम चांतिके चतत. तथा वह परमात्मा चराचर सब भूतों के बाहर भीतर परिपूर्ण है, और चर अचर रूप भी वही है, और वह सूक्ष्म होने से अविज्ञेय है, तथा अति समीप में और दूसरे दूर में भी स्थित वही है. अविज्ञेय का टिप्पणी में लिखा है, जैसे सूर्य की किरणों में स्थित हुआ जल सूक्ष्म होने से साधारण मनुष्यों के जानने में नहीं आता है, वैसे ही सर्वव्यापी परमात्मा भी सूक्ष्म होने से साधारण मनुष्यों के जानने में नहीं आता है. और अति समीप में उसकी टिप्पणी में लिखा है, वह परमात्मा सर्वत्र परिपूर्ण और सर्व का आत्मा होने से अत्यंत समीप है और दूर में भी स्थित है. उसकी टिप्पणी में लिखा है, श्रद्धा रहित अज्ञानी पुरुषों के लिए न जानने के कारण वो बहुत दूर है. Very good, very good, very good.
That's very clearly explained, right? Yeah.
Without and within beings, the unmoving and also the moving, that is incomprehensible due to subtlety, and that is far and near.
Yeah. So like कबीरदास जी का है हाजिर तो ही दूर बतावे, पंडित की बात निराशी. Is very close, but पंडित will say, oh, do this puja and do this puja and go to this तीर्थ and भगवान मिलेंगे. They are sending you far and far and far. Where it is hai hajir mein, right, present inside you. And that's what Bhagavan in the shlok is saying. So he says, Bhutanam, all char achar, moving and non-moving, in everyone. So it is very close, but if you don't have that vision, it is far. If you don't have that, again, going back to the Gyan and Agyan. If I have amanitvam, let's take one quality. Amanitvam means that not boasting around. I am doing. That is amanitvam basically. Man means there is a Sanskrit word, beautiful. Man means a measurement. And measurement means some weight. Oh, I am this, that's a man. Abhiman. So amanitvam. As long as you have manitvam, it is far. It is too far. You just cannot see that. It is impossible to see Bhagwan with that manitvam. अमानित्वम राइट नजदीक. भगवान से कि अगर ये ज्ञान है तो मैं एकदम पास में हूँ, और अज्ञान है तो बहुत दूर हूँ. That's what he meant here, right? अंत के नजदीक हूँ और दूरस्थम दूर हूँ. Now choice is ours. अभी that movie has come, Narsimha, right? With Prahlad. Abhi now this guy is asking Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu, you keep saying, the last बड़ा अच्छा सीन है last में, you keep saying that वो विष्णु है, तो बुलाओ उसको कहाँ है. बड़ा प्यारा उत्तर प्रहलाद ने दिया. मूवी में ही है वो, वैसे भागवत में भी है, पर मूवी में बहुत अच्छा है उसको डायरेक्ट किया. इससे जो सब जगह है उसको बुलाना क्या, उसको बुलाना क्या, वो तो है ही यहाँ पर. देन ही सेज कि वो तो इस खंबे में भी है, उसने कहा इसमें भी है. एंड देन ही कम्स आउट फ्रॉम दैट. सो दैट इज ज्ञान. हिरण्यकश्यप को नहीं दिखता है क्योंकि वो अज्ञानी है. प्रहलाद को दिखता है क्योंकि प्रहलाद ज्ञानी. प्रहलाद से ही है, कहाँ बुलाना, ही इज हियर, राइट. एंड वो आ भी जाते हैं. एंड नाउ ब्यूटी इज दैट, आते कैसे हैं, जैसा प्रहलाद को चाहिए. बिकॉज प्रहलाद को, इफ ही हैज टू प्रोटेक्ट प्रहलाद, ही हैज टू कम. हिरण्यकश्यप हैड दैट boon कि नो मैन, no animal, not in night, and all those conditions. So Bhagavan fulfills those conditions and comes in Narsim. because of the Prahlad's Gyan. Gyan or Bhakti or Shraddha sab ek hi cheez hai. There's no separate thing. Prahlad is like 6-year-old, but that Gyan is Bhakti is Gyan in that sense. There is no separate Bhakti or Gyan. So that's what Bhagavan is saying. It is very close, depending on how much Gyan. Gyan in the sense, not character Gyan ki baat ho rahi. We are not talking about the one. So we'll read one more Shlok 16. This is very, very beautiful Shlok. And then, yeah. So that's like Bhagavan is 16, but he's going to summarize all that from which is started from 12th. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu.
Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu.
Vibhaktam eva cha sthitam.
Vibhaktamiva cha sthitam.
Bhuta bharta cha tadgeyam.
Bhuta bharta cha tadgeyam.
Grasishnu prabhu vishnu cha.
ग्रसिष्णु प्रभु विष्णु च, और वह विभाग रहित एक रूप से आकाश के सदृश परिपूर्ण हुआ भी चराचर संपूर्ण भूतों में पृथक पृथक के सदृश स्थित या प्रतीत होता है, तथा वह जाने योग्य परमात्मा विष्णु रूप से भूतों को धारण पोषण करने वाला और रुद्र रूप से संहार करने वाला तथा ब्रह्मा रूप से सबका उत्पन्न करने वाला है, और सब में स्थित है। उसकी टिप्पणी में लिखा है, जैसे महाकाश विभाग रहित स्थित हुआ भी घड़ों में पृथक पृथक के सदृश प्रतीत होता है, वैसे ही परमात्मा सब भूतों में एक रूप से स्थित हुआ भी पृथक पृथक की भांति प्रतीत होता है।
Undivided and yet existing as if divided in beings, and that which is to be known is the sustainer of beings, destroyer and creator.
Anyway, so this whole English translation of मेरे को बहुत objection है, destroyer. I don't know from where it is not about destroyer. It is Grasishnu, means dissolver.
Dissolver.
In fact, the whole definition of creation is also wrong. There is nothing to be created here. Bhagwan doesn't. It is all Bhagwan. It is not a it is Bhagwan. It is sprouting. Like we cannot say that, oh, we have created a tree out of seed. We don't create tree out of seed. Tree is sprouting from seed. It's expansion of seed. So that's why the whole translation of creation and destruction, wo English mein karte hain. So that's a problem. But we should correct all those books. It's not creation. It is all pervading. Vishnu, the word Vishnu means all pervading. The Sanskrit word Vishnu is, it's not Vishnu just wo jo Sheshayya plate hai, wo humne bana diya hai. But the meaning of that word Vishnu is all pervading. Like the example given, the sun rays, we call it sun rays, but there is separate sun rays? Every ray, every particle of the sun ray has sun. Everything is sun. We call for the reason sun rays, but it is sun. When I get vitamin D, we eat the plants and animals, plants basically. Plants also get sun, and then we eat them, or we get vitamin D. Every cell of me has sun in some or other form, but it is all sun. So that is all pervading. Sun is all pervading. So same thing, Bhagavan is all pervading. So Prabhu Vishnu, Prabhu means creation. So in the entire thing what we see, whatever created thing we see, it is all Bhagavan, expansion of that. Then he says Grasishnu, whenever needed. And now here is a very important thing. A lot of people have very misconception that Bhagavan, Shivji ko gussa jayega to pralay kar denge. Bhagavan doesn't do anything. Bhagavan has said the niyam works. When the niyam will tell me, I'll become Shiv and pralay karna. When something will happen and is needed, I'll become Shiv and do the pralay. Then recreate. Pralay means it's not just going away. Dissolving, there'll be a time. That's why Hindus have yuga and all those calculation based on that. But not randomly Bhagavan ka mana hai kisi din jaake fir se bana. No. Bhagavan says, I'm not interfering. The niyam works. Whenever niyam will come, I'll become Brahma and take care of everything. I'll become Vishnu and sustain. And I'll become Shiv and dissolve. So the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh is a niyam. इट्स नॉट कि तीन बैठे हैं और कोई चर्चा कर रहे हैं, और हमारे यहाँ तो कहानियां भी आती हैं, उनकी लड़ाई भी हो जाती है। आई डोंट नो कहाँ से अपनी कहानियां बनाते हैं, उनकी लड़ाई भी हो जाती है ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश की। अरे नहीं, कह रहा हूँ मजे के लिए, दैट्स नॉट द गोल हियर, राइट? सो हमारे यहाँ तो एक शिव जी की आरती भी आती है, ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिव जानत अविवेका, प्रणवाक्षर के मध्य ये तीनों एका। The whole line is that in जो आरती में, जय शिव ओमकारा, ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिव ये तीनों एका, they're all, there's just one. And pranav akshar is om. Om, that's why in Gita was 17th chapter we saw Bhagavan says I am om. In 10th chapter also I am omkar in aksharana. Omkar means whatever our kalpana, our rishis kalpana, om is that. Om is just one form where all Bhagwan, all divinity is in om. So that's why the Aarti says Brahma Vishnu Sadashiv Janit Aviveka Pranav Akshar ke madhye, in the middle of this Pranav Akshar Om, ye tino eka. They are all one. Actually, they are all one. So for a reason, Bhagwan takes that role. So that is a niyam. Bhagwan doesn't disturb the world. So that's what, this is a wonderful shlok and is described. So again, we can keep discussing around this. Even we saw in one of the 10th chapter where Bhagwan is saying that Mrityuscha sarvaharam. I am the Mrityu of when the people die. I am that Mrityu. Because he is saying I am Mrityu also. And I am Samudbhava. I am the birth also. Everything is Bhagwan. And that's what he's saying. That's why we say Brahma. We have Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. That's the reason we have these three, and uska baad mein kuch ho gaya, wo baat alag hai. We have like distorted explanation of things. But Bhagwan is saying everything is Bhagwan. And that is the Gyan. And that is to be known. Basically, that is to be known. And how to be known? Again, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. ये तो हम बचपन से पढ़ते आ रहे हैं, ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश, कितनों को समझ में आया? हम लोग हमें, that is the reason we have to read, do Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, we do Swadhyay, we do Chintan, and come to what Bhagavan, why that's Bhagavan is saying here. This is to be known. And once you understand this, then you have the Paramanand. That's what is Amrit Ashnute. Then you overcome that fear from insecurity. Basically, it's all insecurity. Now again, there is one thing we need to keep in mind here, that any knowledge, Bhagavan has started with Gyan, right? It's all talking about Gyan. Look at that. Second chapter is Gyan Yoga, where he has talked the same thing in a very different context. In context of Atma and Sthit Pragya. Here he is talking in a different context. Same thing. But that's that kind of fortify or cement our knowledge also by doing that. So what he is saying, Gyan. So now we need to keep in mind, he said Gyan, anything which, any Gyan, two things happen, like material knowledge and the spiritual. Material knowledge is never complete. And material knowledge will never give me the freedom from security. हम लोग अभी AI आ गया तो भी हम दुखी हैं, AI नहीं था तो भी हम दुखी थे, कंप्यूटर नहीं था तब भी हम दुखी थे, हमें यही परेशानी थी कि कुछ हो जाने वाला है, दुनिया को कुछ होने वाला है, अब कंप्यूटर आ गया तो भी हम दुखी हैं, तो हम लोग तो दुखी रहने वाले हैं. So that's why they say, our Shah says that material knowledge will not give you that freedom from insecurity. Material knowledge will not give you anand. Whatever, like अभी now robotic surgeries have come, फिर भी हम उतने डरे हुए हैं, हॉस्पिटल में जाइए उतने डरे हुए लोग हैं. अब रोबोटिक सर्जरी आ जाएगी तो क्या है, फियर इनसाइड इज द सेम ना. डॉक्टर कितने एडवांस है, क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है, मरीज तो उतने डरा हुआ, डॉक्टर भी डरे हुए हैं, सभी डरे हुए हैं. सो एवरीबडी इज इनसिक्योर. So nothing is changing with all this material knowledge. So any knowledge which doesn't take away feeling of insecurity, that knowledge is not Adhyatma Gyan. That's what Bhagavan is saying. But if you have Vairagya, if you have Amanitvam, if you have Ahimsa, then you are free from insecurity. See, that is Gyan. That's what Bhagavan says. So any Gyan which provides me, take me away from insecurity, which is called moksha, in very simple terms. If you go to Adhyatmic, and which is complete, the Gyan, there's nothing more to be known after that. Nothing more. Raman Maharshi, we all know Raman Maharshi, very famous. Raman Maharshi didn't have any particular deity as a कोई शिव भक्त दुर्गा भक्त ऐसा कुछ नहीं था उनका. When he studied some books, जो भी वेदांत he studied, he came to realize that वेदांत पढ़ने के बाद एक क्लैरिटी आ जाती है. उनको क्लैरिटी आ गई. He says only thing in life is who am I? I had to just find out who am I, and the answer is Tattvamasi. You are Brahman. That's what Vedanta says, and that's what there's no deity, no puja, no particular rituals. Only thing he says, just do the chintan, who you are, and you will find the answer yourself. You can listen to all those things, but the answer is within you. That's the teaching. Raman Maharshi, still people follow him, but Gandhiji, when he said, I have to practice. I mean, I know there is a lot of controversy around that, but I don't want to get into that. I have very high respect for him. His ahimsa, he said, I am not perfect in ahimsa. I'm still practicing ahimsa. Very few people even can. He was so truthful to say that I'm still not there. In spite of he was an apostle of non-violence, even today's world. But he said, no, I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to find out. That is, he said, discovery. He says Satya ki khoj, right? But he was at that level ahimsa that he said, I'm not still there. But that person ahimsa can be free from insecurity. When at the last days of he was, couple of times he was attacked, then I think Morarji or somebody was there, home minister, he said, or your home secretary, he said, we have to provide security, Bapu. It's a very known fact. I mean, Birla House in Delhi. He said, no, I don't need any security. He said, no, there is a threat. He said, they'll kill the body. And they killed the body. He was right. He was Gita student, Gandhiji. He said, they're going to kill the body, Mohandas Gandhi. So what? And they killed. But he had no regret. Agar Gandhiji wapas aa jayenge to bolenge, just let him go. He doesn't know what he's doing. That is called Gyan. So ahimsa is Gyan for Gandhi. Exactly. I mean, many of them, Gandhiji is one example, but there are many of them which you don't know. So that's what Bhagavan is saying. Anything, the Gyan, anything which releases me from insecurity, that fear, is Gyan. Anything which doesn't taking me away from the insecurity, fear, is a Gyan. So as long as that means we have to keep practicing it. And that's what Bhagavan is saying here. So, and he described Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, his role, but ultimately when you realize you are that, then you are done. But हमें विश्वास नहीं होता ना. So we'll do our dhyan, but again, sir, there is how do we feel Bhagwan? Is again, that's what that feeling has, when these qualities Bhagwan has told 20, Vairagya, Manitvam, Ahimsa, all those qualities, Indriya Nigra, when they become part of my Swabhav, then we'll feel Bhagwan. Bhagwan is not like dikh jayenge, and I always, that's one of the story I use many times, but I love that. So there are two boys. One is very spiritual and he has that Shraddha ki Bhagwan hai, wo Prahlad ki tarah. And the second one is, you just keep, chalo but chalte mandir, theek hai tere saath mein. And they were doing darshan. So he said, I come to mandir, but I don't feel anything. I mean, but when I'm standing, the other one, he says, who is devotee Prahlad, when I stand in front of Krishna, I feel I'm talking to Krishna. He said, the murti is like that. The other one. Then finally he said, but how do you? So then one day they were playing in the outside in the ground. They were doing the kite flying. And the kite went far, and when the kite is too far, you can't see the kite. Nice window. So the kite was not visible. So this guy who was Prahlad, he told his friend, can you hold the string? He told the string. He said, can you see the kite? He said, no, I don't see the kite. But is kite there? He said, yeah, kite is there. How do you know? I feel the pull. And he said, that's what. You feel the pull. The day you feel the pull, that is Atmagyan. जब तक मंदिर में मूर्ति के सामने खड़े हैं, doesn't matter. अभी भी I still worry about my job, my account. We have to. I mean, chronologically we have to do that. Physiologically we have to do that. But psychologically and spiritually, I have to raise myself. हाँ, chronological तो कर रहा है, job भी होना चाहिए, family, everything. That is chronological life. But the moment it comes to psychological, तो spiritual तो हो ही नहीं सकते. If psychologically, if we are insecure, then spiritually how you will be secure? So that's the sadhana. So that pull. And that's what Bhagwan is. Purpose of Bhagwan is describing all this to feel that that Gyan is your Swabhav. You enjoy that. Otherwise, it is all. So, अरिजीत सिंह का बड़ा फेमस सॉन्ग है, मैं ढूंढने को कभी जीने की वजह निकला, पता चला कि गलत लेके मैं पता निकला. आई वॉज लुकिंग फॉर कि मैं क्यों जी रहा हूँ, जीने की वजह निकला, ढूंढने को निकला, लेकिन पता चला कि गलत पता लेके निकला. तो गलत पता लेके गलत जगह ही पहुंचोगे. फिर आगे की लाइन बहुत प्यारी, वो बोलता है, मैं ढूंढने को जमाने में वफा निकला, पता चला कि गलत लेके मैं पता निकला. If you put wrong, wafa means love, प्यार और श्रद्धा, वेरियस नेम्स, राइट. लेकिन अगर पता ही गलत है तो गलत जगह पहुंच जाओगे. जीपीएस में if you put address of Indianapolis and going to Harrisburg, you go to Indianapolis, not to Harrisburg. You take 70 west rather than 70 east. So it is the पता गलत है. तो भगवान इस ये पता सही बता रहा है. तो ये जो 20 qualities है, they are the address. We have to use these qualities in our GPS. में डाल दें, फिर वो ले जाएंगे. But so these 20 qualities are nothing but the सही पता. तो मैं ढूंढने को जमाने में वफा निकला, पता लेके गलत, पता चला कि लेके मैं गलत पता निकला. So these qualities of भगवान, गेयम जो है, तो भगवान ने शुरू किया था गेयम worth knowing. This is worth knowing. The right address needs to know. And once we have the right address, then Amrit Ashnute, from within, कोई बाहर से कुछ नहीं आने वाला है. From within you will get that Anand, Amrit Ashnute. That insecurity will go away. And but Bhagwan has promised in the 6th chapter when Arjun Bhagwan ने 6th chapter में भगवान ने जब अर्जुन ने पूछा भी था कि क्या होगा, तो भगवान ने बोला था कि शने शने उपरमेत बुद्धिया धृति ग्रहितया. अर्जुन धीरे धीरे होगा, बुद्धिया use your intellect, धृति ग्रहितया with the perseverance. He has given the condition. ऐसे कोई magic नहीं होने वाला. There is nothing magic in magic means Prahlad and Meera is we are not Prahlad and Meera. If we are Prahlad and Meera, then we are fine. That will happen too. But we are all Grahasth people. Less. So for us, Bhagwan has given the Shana Shane Uparme. Slowly it will happen. Buddhya dhrati grahyataya. Use your intellect. Buddhi in the sense not AI buddhi. Atma buddhi, Vivek buddhi. And then grahitaya. Then it will happen. So with that, let's go to our dhyan process. Now we get better understanding of when we do dhyan. The purpose of dhyan is to then assimilate those qualities. That's dhyan. So we don't do dhyan. We create an environment where dhyan happens. It's like that. So Atma Gyan will see, it's like open the window and then sun will come inside. It's like that. So we don't do dhyan. So now again, it is same 6th chapter. Bhagwan is explained. But Bhagavan is given in 7th chapter that Bhagavan's apara prakriti, all 5 elements, and we saw in this chapter also 24 elements. So basically 5 gross elements. We are made of those 5 gross elements. We, through mind, we interact with those 5 elements outside. So the goal here is of that dhyan vidhi is to shut down those senses, shut down the mind. When the mind is quietened, then automatically the Sakshi Chaitanya, which is my Swabhav, it comes out. And then I realized, oh, this is me. Aham Brahmasmi. I was looking for somewhere else. This is the address inside, right? So that's the whole purpose of it. So let's sit straight. We'll say Om once. Om. So it's like a shallow and slow breath. Keep the focus on the tip of the nostril and bring image of Prithvi. Prithvi is Bhudevi or Prithvi Tattva. Image of Prithvi, and keep the focus on the tip of the nostril. Because through nose, we feel Prithvi. Because the smell comes from Prithvi. So that is the whole 24th element we saw. Right? In detailed description is there in Sankhya. But yeah, just for our sake, keep the image of Prithvi in mind and keep the focus on tip of the nostrils. Now shift focus to the tip of the tongue and bring image of or Jal Tattva, which is water. because through tongue there is another sense of perception. We interact with Jal. We can bring image of Ganga or fountain or Ohio river, whatever. Every water is same. Bring image of Agni Tattva, which is Surya Bhagwan, is the best representation of Agni Tattva. Bring image of Surya Bhagwan and keep the focus on eyes. Now shift focus to the skin and feel air, because we cannot touch air, we cannot see air. Only thing we can feel air on skin, which is tvacha. Tvacha is the fourth sense of perception. So we can feel. And if you're outside, then just look at tree or something which is moving and feel the air. I do it all the time and it's very fascinating. Now shift focus to the ear and think of Akash. We cannot see Akash, we cannot even imagine Akash, but it is there, space. So how do we know? When we keep focus on ear, we hear some distant sound, and sound travels in space. So that's why we know that there is a space. Inside, all these elements are outside also. All these elements are inside me also. And through these elements, I interact with the outside world. By doing this, these senses are quietened now. Now the senses are quiet, then mind becomes slowly quietened, because mind doesn't get the feed from these senses. No interaction, no transaction happening. So now think that I am not these senses, I am not those elements, I am not these senses, I am not even the mind. And there will be some lingering thoughts. They'll come and go, but every thought is a beginning end. Just I'm not this mind, I'm not buddhi, I am that Sakshi Chaitanya Atma, which Bhagavan has explained here, right? The Kshetragya. Now, Kshetragya can observe these senses and the mind. Mind is also one of the senses. So now let's observe the mind. Observing the mind means what? The thoughts. Mind is nothing but bunch of thoughts or set of thoughts, one thought at a time. And by observing the mind, if there are thoughts, it will come and go. Don't chase the thought. Just observe the thoughts. Over the period of time with practice, there will be a time where thoughts will just subside. There is no thought. And that time mind is also quiet. And all the thing remains is just Sakshi Chaitanya. And then Bhagavan says in 6th chapter, in this state, do the Brahmachari Vrat and Yukt Asita Matpara. Stay in this state. Matpara means me means Brahman is the ultimate goal. In this state, you will, that's what we say Jnanartha in that shlok also. That's the laksh. And this state, it happens like we realize that I am that Sakshi Chaitanya, I am that Anand, I am that Amritam. And that is Dhyan. There is nothing, there is no alag, there is no separate Dhyan. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Boli Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki
Jai.
So yeah, we'll continue on this next week when we meet. Yeah, it's a wonderful. Every